fear comes from one basic lack. And I tell you, you get this down and this is the trick to defeating fear, to obliterating fear in your life. Here it is. It's not from lack of wealth or earthly security. It comes from a lack of knowledge about who he is. Fear comes from a lack of knowledge about who he is, his character, his personality, what he wants from you, what he's fighting for, what he's done in the past. Oh, Dad. The scriptures tells us not to be afraid or have fear over and over and over. Every time the scriptures talks about this, I listened to a ton of them over the last couple days. Every time the scriptures tells us to not have fear, it links it to knowing who Elohim is, who Yahweh Elohim is. You can't separate the two. So if you don't know who Yahweh Elohim is, you're going to have fear. If you have fear, you probably don't know who Yahweh Elohim is enough. Okay? Now I'm going to challenge you on this because it's so important. So we change this in 3 ways. We remember who he is and his past exploits for Israel. Okay? And creation and all kinds of things. So we've got to remember. We're queen and kings of forgetting, right? So we must remember who he is and what he has done in the past, his exploits from the past that he's done for Israel, okay? So remembering is one way to help change this lack. We're lacking this knowledge we need, okay? So we got to remember him. The second way to get rid of the lack of knowledge of Jehovah is to gain personal experience. This is what I'm saying. If I had chosen to not go to the teepee and not surrender and troubleshoot him, I would have missed out on the opportunity to really have personal experience with him and get to know him. It's priceless, absolutely priceless, because I could see him showing up. And because I could see him showing up, I began to realize he sees me and he cares, and his character came forward, you know. So I was able to remember his past exploits. I was able to look at my present and know I was getting personal experience with this Elohim who did those exploits back then. And then the third thing is to fear him correctly, okay? So we're going to use the scriptural biblical concept of good fear, and we're going to fear him correctly, which means I want to be in line with him, which means if I am doing what he's commanded us to do in the scriptures, then I should have no fear. Then I'm going to fear him. I'm going to have awe for him. I'm going to have respect for him. I'm going to have, reverence for him by doing what he says to do, which he said to honor his son, the prophet that Moses spoke of, and keep the covenant, the Melchizedek covenant. So if you don't have enough knowledge about him, don't have enough personal experience, or you know what, we all could use more. Trust me, this is a constant thing. You're going to do it till the day you die. We need to understand the epic story that we were born in. That's huge right there. Like a great way to start or continue on this journey of destroying fear by knowing him or getting to know him is to really understand the epic story that you were born into. So if there's one thing that you should be studying, people, it is not the details of the genealogies, okay? It's not the, arguing whether you should be wearing tzitzits or not, or arguing head coverings, or arguing days of the week and stuff. You should be really getting to try to understand your Elohim. And the best way to do it is to understand the scriptures as a story. It's his story. It's Yahweh Elohim's story. And so to really try to unpack that well and to understand his life and what he has come through, who he is, that he is love. Like literally, he doesn't have it, he is it. Elohim, the family is love. I mean, that should be the quest of our life, is getting to know this Elohim, because it's in getting to know him that all your fear is going to be wiped out because of what he says he is going to do for his people.